The original French poster for Possession features a woman's torso, her head pulled back and arms drawn tight behind her waist by a clump of writhing tentacles. Her breasts are spherical, not unlike an old socialist realist sculpture. Then there is the colour, a kind of translucent blue, except for a lone pink tentacle snaking towards a nipple. The poster was created by Barbara Baranowska, or Basha to use the Polish diminutive. Basha is the unsung heroine of Polish poster art. Whereas the likes of Jan Lenica developed a distinct, often instantly recognisable style, Basha was a chameleon. She donned a variety of graphic personae, from sometimes brutal cutouts of her early Polish book jackets to the voluptuous, almost psychedelic surrealism of her later French film posters. In sharp contrast to the savage eroticism of her later work, Basha was adept in evoking a colourful fairy tale world brimming with animals. While she may not have been the most prolific poster artist of her generation, the works she produced in Poland during the 1960s are in many cases unforgettable. Basha was born into a noble family in the Polish industrial city of Katowice in 1934. After studying painting at the Krakow Academy of Fine Arts, she frequently designed the covers for books by the Polish Jewish author Adolf Rudnicki. Rudnicki isn't as well known outside of Poland as he should be. Usually he is relegated to a footnote in Jewish literature relating to the Holocaust. His stories mix observation, history and philosophy. Rudnicki was the inspiration behind the character of Abe, who featured in the original Possession shooting script, which Szałowski ultimately cut out. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, Basha mixed with personalities in both Polish art, literature and film. She knew both Jan Lenica and Roman Ciślewicz, who, like Basha, subsequently moved to Paris. During the early 1960s, Roman Polanski tried, unsuccessfully, to cast Basha in his debut film, Knife in the Water. Janusz Morgenstern managed to persuade her to make a cameo alongside the socialist James Dean, Zbigniew Cebulski, in his film See You Tomorrow. Acting, however, was of no interest to her. Besides a few cameos, the closest Basha got to cinema was designing posters. Like Ciślewicz, Basha frequently turned to photo montage. Like Lenica, she also painted. Basha's paintings are fairy tale-like, but they are rarely cute. If anything, there is a primal sexual undercurrent to the curves and colours of her posters. Basha moved to Paris in 1968, where she's been based for the most part ever since. During the 1970s, Basha designed the French posters for a whole range of cult American films. These include Milos Forman's Taking Off, Steven Spielberg's The Sugarland Express, Woody Allen's Played Again Sam, and Alan J. Pakula's The Parallax View. She also designed the French poster for the Hammer horror film Twins of Evil. Basha's posters for films like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Life Size are outrageous, colourful and slightly mysterious. Today it is difficult to imagine such posters being approved not just by studios, but also advertising regulators. However, Basha's best poster from the 1970s is for the children's film Pique Pique Colligram. The film is about the fate of two children in Nazi-occupied France. By substituting swastikas for snowflakes, Basha encapsulates the essence of the film in a single image. The poster is typical of the Polish poster school of the 1950s and 1960s. During this period in Poland, there was a revolution in poster art. Posters played an important role in Polish cultural life. They served as a means of communication, which both advertised cultural events, not to mention political ideas. Above all else, posters were a form of street art. Free from the shackles of Polish socialist realism, a whole wave of artists brought a strikingly modern artistic sensibility to the film poster. Lacking the resources to produce slick Hollywood posters, these artists turned to a variety of modernist art trends and techniques for inspiration. Often armed with little more than a brush, crayon, or simply just a pair of scissors, these Polish artists developed a raw, sometimes savage, but always intelligent approach to the film poster. Artists such as Heinrich Tomaszewski, Lenica, Ciśniewicz developed a unique and often witty approach to rendering the very essence of a film in a single eye-catching image. Today, if Basha is considered only as a footnote in the history of Polish and French poster art, then she is nevertheless a reminder of an age in advertising before focus groups, not to mention political correctness. Above all else, Basha's posters, like the best of the Polish poster school, stands as proof of how art and advertising can coexist.